So you want to make a professional movie, but you don't have professional movie money. Well, today, I'm going to help you solve that problem. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to D.A.T.A Productions YouTube channel. Dreams are tangible aspirations where we scheme our dreams into existence. I'm D. Arthur Turner, CEO of D.A.T.A Productions, coming at you today with another video, hopefully a video that's going to be providing some value in regards to filmmaking, video production. So I think today is a good day for 2020 to start that off. Now, I know a lot of you guys out here are probably asking, oh, it would be pretty cool to make a movie, but you don't have the budget to do so. Either you don't have the money yourself or you don't have somebody to help fund the movie for you. So today I'm going to give you some advice and some tips on getting around that and making the most professional film possible with a very low budget. We call micro budgets in the industry. I've really been honing in on my filmmaking skills for at least the last 2.5, 3 years. I've made 2 documentaries so far, one unofficial feature about 40 minutes long when I was still in college, and one official feature documentary that I submitted to a couple film festivals, Sundance, Tribeca, Slamdance. But without further ado, you have to have the utmost desire to make a film. You have to have a burning desire to tell this story and put it on the screen. If you're not willing to sacrifice, if you're not willing to stay up late, if you're not willing to put in the hours, if you're not willing to spend the money that you have to make this story into a physical manifestation on the screen, I suggest you don't do it. I suggest you try to find something else that you could possibly be more passionate about, because being a filmmaker is a lifestyle. You're going to go through a lot of hardships. It's not easy. Not everybody is making millions of dollars off filmmaking. A very small percentage is. Now, again, at D.A.T.A Productions, my goal is to build up this company and that we are making multi-million-dollar productions, films. We are competing with the MGMs, the Universals, and production houses along those lines. That's the goal. But to get to that goal, you have to go through the muck. You have to go through all the different struggles. And that's a lifestyle. So if you're not willing to put up with that, I would say, find a different career path that may suit you better. You have to just look at everything that you have right now and say, how can I use this? How can I use this in the film? Will this help my film? Do my friends have some equipment that I could use, that I could borrow from them? Is there some free online stuff I can use to help edit my film? How can I upgrade the equipment I have? You're going to have to cut corners somewhere, but you have to make sure you cut the right corners, because if you don't cut the right corners, it's going to affect your bottom line and your project. You have to realize nothing is going to be perfect, especially with a film that has a micro budget. Done is better than perfect, because perfect never gets done. I forget who had that quote. I don't know who had it, but shout out D for Darius. I got that quote from his channel. I don't know who originates that quote, but I got it from there. Now let's actually get into the technical tips I have for you guys today on how to make a professional looking micro budgeted film. And I'm going to use my 2 films that I have done as examples, so you guys can get a look for what I'm talking about, right? And you can kind of see the progression of D.A.T.A Productions and my skill set. For my first film, only used 2 cameras. One camera was the Canon T6i Rebel, standard lens, nothing added to it. And then I had my phone. Just use your trusty iPhone, Android, whatever you have, you could just use your phone. This has a good enough camera. We're in 2020 now, where anybody could pick up a phone and make a little movie. And then my newest film I just made only had 3 cameras. I had my Canon T6i I was using, my phone, and the Canon Powershot 2 that I'm filming on right now for this YouTube video. Those are the 3 cameras I used for a 2-hour docu-series feature film that I used. And it came out great. It came out professional. These, products aren't that expensive. I got the T6i, a couple years ago for about $800. I got the Canon Powershot for about the same price a year and a half ago. And my phone, I think this is an iPhone 7. If you don't have anything else, you could just use your phone. All right. But if you have a little money, I would suggest get at least 1 camera. Invest more money in sound equipment than in visual camera equipment. People want to hear your product just as much as visually seeing it. If your sound doesn't match your visual, then you're off. You cannot skimp on sound. I'm trying to drill this into your head. Sound is the most important thing, more important than visuals, I promise you. Now, I will give you some examples right now of the different sound qualities I had from my 2 biggest projects. From the first film I did, Live the Dream, you could tell the sound was off. It was very amateur, partly because I didn't know everything. But you could hear the background noise. I had the boom mics, but I didn't realize I was, in larger rooms. So the sound was a lot more airy. It was very echoey, and that doesn't bode well over, for good professional films. It was an amateur mistake, or not even a mistake. It was an amateur lesson on my journey that I'm still on. Sound wise, you have to go a lot of different ways. You have to invest at least as much as possible to get the best sound for your film. So one of the mics I use a lot of for my narrations I do in my videos, like sports vaults and everything else. This is a nice Rode NT1A studio mic. It has really good quality. When you're doing narrations, you do want to find a smaller, more compact room so that the sound stays in there, because you don't want that echoey sound. And I came in, I said, hey, I wanted to create a show. It was really easy. They said you could set one up. So I created a radio talk show with my co-host, Malia Bates. The turnaround that we tried to go on every Monday after the week.
New Orleans has to be the party capital of America. So even though the Eagles are struggling, it's hard to be sad in this city. You feel the voodoo juju immediately when you step foot in its quarters.
If you're choosing between a more solid boom mic or a more solid tripod, get the more solid boom mic. And also with the sound, you're going to need a transmitter as well. I use the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. It does a really good job. It brings enough power to my system through my MacBook, so I can get the sound easily recorded. And also, I have a DR22WL Tascam personal mic that is great purposes. It's great for interviews. It's great for catching different sounds for your films, anything. Check this out as well. This is about $100, and this is probably one of the more valuable purchases I've had in my filmmaking career. I've used this in my film, the last Endless Season film, for interviews. I did it for narration. I did this for re-recording my interview for my documentaries to get that more crisp sound than the airy sound that you might get just if you don't have this. So I would invest in at least your studio mic. You have your Tascam personal mic. You have a lavalier mic. And you have, your boom mic that you put on top of your camera as well. These are all important because then you could choose which sounds the best when you go into post and editing. We're not always going to have enough money to license different content, different videos, different photos. I specialize in documentaries, so I use a lot of different content from different sources. You have to study up on that. That's important. You know, you have to think abundantly on the content you can use, especially if you're a documentary filmmaker like myself. All right. Fair use is a defense in court, right? Say if you want to use copyrighted material from another film, because it will help your film out. Not saying you are blatantly copying it, but if you're doing a documentary, it's okay for you to comment on the film. It's okay for you to transform it in a way where you make it your own, but people still realize it comes from a different source. When I was doing my trailer for my Endless Season documentary, I used Gladiator the movie because it's a sports documentary, and I wanted to convey that sports is just like the past as well, with the gladiators in the Colosseum. So I used the movie Gladiator to comment on that. Traces of the modern day sports atmosphere date back to the ancient Roman dynasty in the Colosseum.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Showcasing sporting events and battles for 50,000 spectators.
Is that why you are here?
Rich, poor, young or old, gathering everyone in the community to be a part of something greater than themselves. Let's take a look at the history of the world through the lens of sports. Now, this does fall under fair use because, one, I didn't use a whole lot of the copyrighted content. Two, I was commenting on it, especially from a historical perspective, which was transforming the use. If you put all your ducks in a row and you do it legally, even if something does come up, you should be able to defend that in court, no issue. Obviously, since we're on a micro budget, you don't want to get any legal fees or anything like that, but that's down the line. But just realize, use your fair use defense. It's an American right. It's a universal right. Transform the creative work. Trust me. Make sure that you're studying up and you're studying your craft. You're sharpening your skills, okay? You know, you're going to have to watch hundreds of videos. You're going to have to read books. You're going to have to watch movies. You're going to have to watch Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu. You're just going to have to study. You're going to have to observe everything, all right? You know, take online courses, take classes, keep watching my videos, because the less mistakes you make, the less money you spend. Time is money, all right? If you have to go back and reshoot a scene because you didn't have the right sound or you didn't have your scene set up properly, you have to go back and do that. You have to go back and drive to that location. That's gas money, all right? So the more studying you do, the more information you have at hand, you can make a better decision. Use non-copyrighted music and use it tastefully, all right? So for films, whatever you do, you're going to get flagged immediately if you use a very popular song, all right? The music industry does not play around if somebody's using their content. So try your best to use non-copyrighted music. You can find that on YouTube. You can search online. There's a lot of different platforms to get no copyrighted music, all right? And it's free. You don't have to pay a license for it. That's what's really going to get you in trouble with the law and just legalities. So use non-copyrighted music and use it tastefully. Don't overuse music, but use music as a tool to enhance your film. Music is a birthright in New Orleans, and it's always been that way. The French, Spanish, African, Italian, German, and Irish found common ground in their love of listening to and making music. While the 1920s is considered the jazz age in America, in New Orleans, that age dawned in the late 1800s. While the Roaring '20s were in full swing, New Orleans roared back, ignoring prohibition and welcoming travelers. It was a time of cultural excitement. Artists, authors, and the adventurous discovered the French Quarter.
NOLA provided the soundtrack of the decade. But if you ask any millennial, New Orleans was the soundtrack of the 2000s, with hip-hop legend Lil Wayne's peak of his career and his native Louisiana rap group, the Hot Boys.
Go online, search free plugins for coloring, for effects, for transitions. Find and use these free plugins because that just gives your film more credibility. It gives it, that professional aspect of it, that extra just little touch, and you can get almost the same effect from free plugins than what you would have for, plugins you have to spend $100 plus for. So Stupid Raisins is one. FX Factory is another I've used. There's plenty of places to get free plugins. Just check it out. It's going to make your film that much better. And I have just one bonus tip for you guys when you're making films, just to make your life easier. Again, nothing's for free. You're going to have to drop a little money, but you don't have to drop a lot. Okay? So for my last little bonus tip for you guys is, if you guys have a laptop, especially if you guys have a older MacBook, mid 2012 MacBook, upgrade it as soon as possible. You don't have to have the best, most fastest computer in the world, the newest computer in the world, but having a computer that runs smoothly, that can handle bigger projects is very important. I upgraded my laptop for about $800. You guys want to make a professional looking film on a micro budget, obviously you're going to have to spend money, but you can get creative with it. And I hope some of these tips actually help you. And if you found value in this and you want more videos like this, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe for more content like this or any other content I do. I do tons of different stuff. I do small little documentaries, mini documentaries. I do feature films. I do everything. I'm not putting myself in a box because D.A.T.A Productions is going to be a huge production company within the film world. It may be in 5 years, it may be 10, it may be in 20. Hopefully you found value out of this video. If you want some more content like this, comment below, hit the subscribe button, and just let me know your thoughts. See if this was valuable, if you're going to use them for yourself for your next film. Hopefully I was able to help. That's all. D.A.T.A Productions out. Remember, dreams are tangible aspirations. Scheme your dream into existence. D. Arthur Turner out. You guys have a good day.